What's going on, guys? FadeitLuie here, bring guys a brand new video. We're gonna be doing a mid fade on my boy, so stay tuned. We started off by saturating the top and making sure our canvas is nice and neat. We also separated the top from the sides. We're then gonna move on to our gold FX and create our first guideline contouring to his head shape. You always wanna make sure you contour this guideline to their head shape so that the fade can flow better. Now that we're done balding them out, we can move on to our no guard all the way open and create our second guideline. You want to make your second guideline around 1 inch thick so you can spread the blend. We're then going to slightly close the lever and begin to attack that initial guideline. You want to make sure to stretch the skin as much as possible with your opposite hand to give you more space to blend. Now that we're done erasing that initial guideline, we can move on to our 1 guard all the way open and create our third guideline. We're then going to use our comb to feed the hair into the clipper because it is getting pretty long. You're going to use this same guard and the lever to soften up this line and get ready for the half guard. Now that we're done softening up the line with the 1 guard, we can move on to the half guard and erase the line completely. Make sure to use your corners and stretch the skin when needed. I hope you guys are enjoying the video. Please leave a like, comment, and subscribe. It's greatly appreciated. Thank you. Now we're moving on to our 2 guard all the way open and we're creating our 4th guideline. We're flicking out as much as possible once we're getting near the parietal ridge, and we're also feeding the hair into the clipper using our comb. We're going to use this same guard and the lever to soften up the line and get it ready for the 1.5 guard. Now that we're done softening up the line with the 2 guard, we can move on to 1.5 guard and erase the line completely. Sometimes after using the 1.5 guard, there's still a fade line, so switching over to your 1 guard all the way open would definitely help. Before we use our clipper over comb, we're going to debulk with the 3 guard all the way open, and we're going to repeat the same process we did with our 2 guard by flicking out and using our comb to feed the hair into the clipper. Now we're moving on to our clipper over comb method, and we're going to make sure the hair is nicely saturated before we do this, so it's easier to pick up with your comb. Once the hair is nice and saturated, we're going to begin by debulking with our horizontal cuts by picking up the hair with the comb and then sliding the clipper with the least amount of pressure as possible. Now that we're done with our clipper over comb, we're going back to our previous guards and we're going to detail as much as possible. detailing, your no guard all the way open and your one guard all the way open is going to be your best friend. Before we finish up the fade, we're going to connect the top to the sides to make sure we get any overhang. Now we're taking our clipper of a comb and we're making the fade as smooth as possible. Moving on to our Annis T outliners, we're going to start off at the bottom and work our way to the top arch using our corners, and we're also going to go as slow as possible because we're making sure the hair feeds into the trimmer. If you don't do this, the hair is going to move and shift and you're going to have a hard time getting a nice and crispy line. Moving on to the back, we're going to take our Babyliss and create our first guideline, contouring it to the back of his nape. Now we're using our no guard all the way open to create our second guideline. Remember, we're going to slightly close the lever and attack that initial guideline we created with our Babyliss. Now that we're done erasing our initial guideline, we can move on to our one guard all the way open and create our third guideline. Remember, we're going to use this same guard and a lever to soften up the line and get ready for our half guard. Now we're switching over to that half guard and we're going to erase the line completely. We are near the occipital bone, so you want to make sure you detail as much as possible. This is due to the high density of hair follicles that's in the back and also the occipital bone that's underneath the skin. Now we're using our two guard all the way open and we're creating our fourth guideline. Remember, you want to flick out as much as possible when you're getting near the silhouette. This is so you can leave weight and make the blend smooth. Now that we're done setting in the guideline and softening up the line with the two guard, we can move on to our 1.5 guard and erase the line completely. Remember, the occipital bone is right underneath this, so we're detailing as much as possible. Before we move on to our clipper over comb, we're going to use our 2 guard all the way open to detail a little bit more, and then use our 3 guard all the way open to debulk. You want to use a clipper over comb method near this area so you can leave more weight near the calic area. Before we move on to our shear work, we're going to make sure the hair is nicely saturated so we can get the true length of the hair follicle. Now that we're done saturating the hair, we can comb the hair out. This is so we can get any knots and tangled hair. Once we're done combing the hair out, we can start off by creating our first guideline at the top of the capitus and then follow the same guideline through the back and sides. You always want to show your clients the length you're going to cut off and make sure they're very comfortable with it. You want to make sure you follow the same guideline through the sides. This is so you don't have any fall away hairs. Again, I hope you guys are enjoying the video. Please leave a like, comment, and subscribe. It's greatly appreciated. Also, if you made it this far into the video, leave a comment down below of my subscriber count, and I'm 100% gonna reply to it. Before we move on to our Turkish razor and Derby Premium blades, we're gonna lather up the skin with our Elegant Shave Gel. This is gonna help the blade glide better. Now that we're done lathering up the skin, we can move on to our Turkish razor and Derby Premium blades and make them as crispy as possible. When you're using the razor, you want to stretch the skin as much as possible with your opposite hand and keep the blade at a 45-degree angle. This is so you don't cut them.